Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. It's your buddy BoogeyMan Ben here for a new episode of BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone, and this is part 8 of my Halloween countdown to Halloween segment. And today's video is going to be the last film in the original timeline, which kind of got broken up because Halloween 4, 5, and 6 didn't exist, and Halloween 3 didn't fit in there either. But if this was going to be the timeline that started with the first one, and then you had Halloween 2, then H20, and then you also would have had Halloween Resurrection, which would come out 4 years after Halloween H20. First, I'm going to talk about what I like about the film. Number one, I think Michael Myers looks awesome in this film. He's played by Brad Laree, and I think he did a fantastic job in this film. I really like the look of Michael Myers in this film so much better than the way that he looked in Part 7 or H20. The other thing I really liked about it is I love the opening. I do love the opening. I don't like the way it was completely executed, but I do love the final confrontation between Laurie and Michael at the institution and finding out how Michael is still alive after the events of Halloween H20. Also, I love the fact that the Myers house looks like the Myers house. Of course, they built it on a soundstage in Canada, but it does look like the Myers house pretty much down to the floor plan from the original film. They did a great job of recapturing the look and feel of that house from the first two films. It looks exactly like it would if it had aged and been abandoned for, 20 plus years. With regards to the new characters, the new people that are in this film that are doing the webcam from the Myers house, I really thought that Sean Patrick Thomas was the best of the bunch. He's a good actor. I've seen him in quite a few things. He was in the Barbershop films. And Rick Rosenthal coming back to direct, so he was the only director to direct 2 films in this franchise, so I thought it was great that he came back as well. To get into things that I don't like about it, now everybody says Busta Rhymes ruins the film. For me, Busta Rhymes doesn't ruin the film, because I knew what to expect with him. He's very over the top. He was over the top in every film I had seen him in up until this point, so I didn't expect him to be any different. He is he stands out, but he's also supposed to be an entertainer that's trying to sell this live webcam. So I would see him as being somebody that's showboating and over the top and things like that. The characters that don't work for me in this is the main heroine. She's played by actress Bianca Kalijic. I think that's how you say her name. But as a successor to the characters that had come before, played by Ellie Cornell, Danielle Harris, and the amazing Jamie Lee Curtis, she just doesn't stand out from the bunch. There's nothing really interesting about her. I couldn't warm up to the cast in this. They didn't seem like real people, and I think that was my biggest problem with them. They just seemed like caricatures of what you would see in a cheap horror film. And for this being a Halloween film, I had hoped for a little bit more. Like I said, at least Busta Rhymes was entertaining. Some of these kids that are going through the house are just not entertaining. There's nothing interesting about them. So when the shit starts going down, you're not as invested in them. Like I said, with the exception of Sean Patrick Thomas, I really didn't give a fuck about anybody else. The other thing I didn't like is that Laurie Strode is killed at the beginning of this film, and they never mention it. She dies at the beginning, and that's it. And I'm like, you killed off, with the exception of Dr. Loomis, you killed off the most important character in the Halloween franchise. And for her to just be forgotten, I really just thought that was a really missed opportunity. It's not a great film, but I don't hate it like some people hate it. There's things about it I like. If I had to give this one a rating, I would give this film 2 skulls. So that was my review of Halloween Resurrection. I know it's one where people are not a fan of it, but like I said, there isn't really, for me, one bad film in the Halloween franchise. There's some I like more than others. There's ones that I have issues with. This is one I just have a lot of issues with, and so I'd kind of put it in the same league as Halloween 5. I'm curious what everyone else thinks about this film. Please leave them in the comments section below. Would love to hear from everyone. And stay tuned for part 9 of this segment, where I will be talking about Rob Zombie's remake of John Carpenter's original classic. So thanks so much again for watching. Take it easy. Stay scared as always.